Hey gamers, Rick here with Game Trade Media, coming to you from GAMA Trade Show in Reno, Nevada, where we're having a blast. And I've got Deacon here from Cryptozoic.
How's it going?
It's going amazing. Thank you for joining us.
Absolutely.
I don't know if I can actually pronounce this.
Okay.
What is this?
I have practiced a lot.
Okay.
Epic Spell Wars of the Battle Wizards, ANNIHILAGEDDon deck building game.
ANNIHILAGEDDon!
So this is the fifth Epic Spell Wars product that we have done.
Okay.
But it is first using our Cerberus deck building engine.
Okay.
So you've played any of our other Cerberus line of games, and you've played Epic, and it's just that.
Okay.
So
All right.
that's the best way to really kind of go with it. So in any of our Cerberus deck building game line, you start with a 10-card deck.
Right.
Most times you have 7 cards that are a +1 power card, and 3 that are nothing good. So in this
Right.
case, we have a Fizzle
Fizzles.
card. Yep.
Meow, meow, meow. Here we
and
go. I'll put it right here.
perfect.
So you can
And
see.
then we have the
Fizzle.
glyph on the same side.
Yeah.
And that's basically what you start with, except you have one extra thing,
Yeah, I saw that.
the wand,
Yeah.
which is a +1 power card, so you're still having the same curve. But this allows you to punch someone in the face.
Nice.
Well, sorry, tap them on the nose lightly.
right, because that's violence.
Oh, it's also just 1 hit point.
Oh. Okay.
You're going to be dealing with 20 to 25 hit points
Whoa,
multiple
okay.
times.
All right.
So the biggest difference in this is you're tracking health, and that's never been done in any Cerberus game before.
Okay.
So this is one of our previous Epic Spell Wars game cards that is from the other games, and it has Sir Kitty Purrington and the health tracker on the other side.
Okay.
But I made sure to bring out one that I think you might like a little bit more.
Venture, the party dragon. Yeah, that sounds totally perfect for me.
Yeah.
And that is wild. Look at this. Look at this right here, everybody. It's the head of the dragons is different party members. Yeah, that's awesome.
So because we have these cards, however, there's 2 differences. Normally you had a player card that had an ability on it.
Okay.
So we're making sure that you have abilities that you can add to these cards, either from old games or the game in this one. So these cards also work with the Epic Spell Wars games
Okay.
from before. So we still have that nice art and theme
Right.
along those
Cool.
lines. But you still have an ability that you're going to get in front of you. So in
Nice.
your case, whenever you play a spell, you can look at the top card of your deck and maybe discard it.
Nice.
Whereas I will get to draw an extra card for every wizard I bought at the end of my turn.
Oh, not nice.
Or maybe it's probably better. Let's go ahead and throw you. This one's probably a better one for you right now because I might have stacked the deck a little bit to help teach the game. So you're going to get HP equal to the VP value of the creatures that you play.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Okay, so let's say that you are playing as Venture.
I
the party
would
dragon.
like that.
So you would get 20 HP. These will not be in the final game. They will be a cardboard chick that I've lost. So
Okay.
I've been
Okay.
here a little bit too long. But you also get your familiar.
Okay.
Your familiar you can always buy.
All
And
right.
the familiar for Venture, the party dragon, is the Dungeon Master.
That makes sense.
Yeah, exactly. So whereas if I'm
That's absolutely
playing,
me.
I'm going to go ahead and play the Ball of Cthulhu.
Okay.
Ball of Cthulhu right there.
Super cool.
And his familiar is Harry the Eldritch Pube.
Oh, wow.
So we set up at the beginning of the game. We deal ourselves our 10 cards that are both same, and we basically take turns playing 5 cards.
Okay.
All of our 5 cards to buy cards off of that rack, with the goal of when the Dead Wizard tokens or the Legend stack is gone, the game ends, and the person with the most VPs, the little
Okay.
card star there right at the bottom, is
Here, let me see it.
sorry, yeah, no
no
problem.
worries. There we go. We can see the little star right on that other side right here. Yeah.
So at the end of the game, when you deconstruct your deck, you count up your points and figure out who's won.
Nice.
The coolest difference, I think, with this game, though, many deck builders have a runaway deck problem.
Okay.
You have a deck that's really working well, and there's nothing anyone else can do about it.
Sure.
So you start punching them more in the face and giving them Dead Wizard tokens by getting them down to 0 health.
Okay.
And then every time you go to 0 health, the Necromancer is going to raise you back up,
Nice.
and you're just fine.
Okay.
You just have -3 points.
Okay.
And then maybe you have -6 points.
Mm.
And then maybe you have -9. But if we're in a 3 or 4 or 5 player game, maybe someone else will realize you're maybe not on the winning end right now and start punching the ball of Cthulhu a little bit more, so you have that ability to.
That just sounds really, really inappropriate. But
sorry,
no,
sorry,
no.
I'll just be the kitty.
No.
I
was laughing at the fact that you said punching the ball of Cthulhu.
Well, yeah, no, you're absolutely right. It's an inappropriate game. I'll just be the kitty instead. No. This is why though, because the kitty is from the previous games.
Okay.
The game comes with 4 promo cards built into the box.
All right.
Of cards from the previous set, so some of the previous cards have familiars as well.
Okay, and the familiar for the kitty is
Lord Squeakers Esquire.
Lord Squeakers Esquire.
So yeah, and then we'll go through and try to get the game. So to talk kind of a little bit of strategy.
All right.
You're working on buying these cards, but there's some really kind of fun stuff that might come up with this. So like I know that I have stacked Cthulhu is one of the cards that you can buy in this game.
Okay.
Cthulhu finally shows up in the game. When you buy Cthulhu, he gets his own standee as well. So you get Rylea.
Okay.
If you were to buy Cthulhu.
Nice.
But with your power that you have, if you play him, he has a victory point value of 3.
Right.
So you gain 3 health.
Nice.
So that's sort of synergizing with there. This is an ongoing card, and there is cards that help, like if you have multiple ongoing cards or ongoing bad things from your dead wizards.
Oh, wow.
That might trigger into more things. So just because you're getting dead wizard tokens doesn't mean that that is bad too. There are some cards that synergize off of that.
Okay.
Let's see here. Let's find Huge Boner is another ongoing. You're considered to be in control of additional dead wizard token when you have this. This card is worth 1 VP for each actual dead wizard token you control.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And then that might synergize off of other stuff. So everything kind of has something that builds off of it. Because
it's fun.
This card plays directly into Huge Boner.
Okay.
Necromancy.
So it says +3 power. If you control a Huge Boner, you may attack, choose a dead wizard token. The foe controls swap tokens with that foe that resolves the next. Okay.
So I have this one and that one, and maybe you just want to go ahead and say, and now I have to deal with that.
Nice. That's cool.
Yeah.
All right.
So yeah, that's the basics of it, and you're just trying to make sure that you build the best deck, but there's a lot of craziness happening because Mayhems can come through the deck. And Mayhems basically resolve tax from the legends. They may have everyone be able to pay for life multiple times to destroy cards in their hands to clean their deck.
Right.
But maybe that's the point of the game where you're at 3 health and you can't use it, so the randomness kind of messes with you on there.
Okay.
So yeah, those are really the P's and Q's of
epic
spell wars of the Battle Wizards Annihilageddon.
Annihilageddon. So some of the artwork in here is just amazing and totally funny. Like again, the Dungeon Master. You know, it has the orc, and you know everybody that knows me knows that I'm a huge fan of that other game that requires one of these. So yeah, I love it. It's just amazing artwork.
Well, we all play that other game.
Yeah, and these are just. I just like the mechanics of you're not just, you know, once you're dead, you're out.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that you come back and you keep playing until you actually defeat the legends or get all the dead wizards. That's cool.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it helps track everything. And not everything's dirty either. We have battle sacks, which is just punching each other, but it's battle sacks. So
well, that's the battle sacks from Lost Boys.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's awesome. Now, when does this hit the
we are going to the factory hero soon.
Okay.
We're aiming for Gen Con release.
Nice.
Along with the next game that I'm going to show you as well. So we're really talking about our fall and early holiday here at GAMA this year.
Nice.
Yeah.
What else did you bring to show us? Yay. DC Deck Builder.
Yeah.
But it says Rebirth.
Yeah, DC Deck Building Game Rebirth.
Okay.
So it's using all art from the Rebirth line, and it is story-driven.
Okay, because I see that there's a huge difference in this layout.
Yeah, so we're taking Rebirth to heart.
Okay.
Let's go ahead and start fresh.
Okay.
Not saying that anything that we've done before is in any way something that we want to stop doing.
Sure.
But we want to continue with the people that I think everyone likes Batman, everyone likes Green Lantern, everyone likes Superman, everyone likes Wonder Woman. And retailers, I think, like seeing them, Wonder Woman and Superman and Batman on their shelf a little bit more than Shazam, even though that may change in about 3 weeks.
Well, let's hope.
Yeah, so
it looks good.
Exactly. So we know that these games with those characters are going to be the more popular.
Sure.
So we want to make sure that we have the chance to revisit some of the people that we haven't seen in a while. And seeing as DC has decided to revisit them with their start and everything like that, we can go there again, continue in our crossover pack lines, continue in our DC deck building main lines with the lineup as is.
Okay.
But also start talking about a new line like we did with some of the Crisis stuffs that added cooperative or the competitive play with confrontations. So Rebirth really is Rebirth Box 1 in our opinion.
Okay.
And as soon as we understand what your fans, our fans, everyone wants more of, we can start tuning that into what the next thing probably will be for this while we still continue the other lines as well. So I want to make sure everyone who is a big fan of DC deck building understands that things that will be happy in the cube are still going to be something, but maybe we can start talking about what a new cube might be and just start building different ways of playing the game and playing with the characters that you like in a deck building world.
Love it.
So as you can see here, there are 10 locations.
Yes.
And there are standees.
Yes.
That you will be.
And I'm playing Jessica Cruz.
Correct. And I'm going to be playing the Flash.
That guy.
That guy. Well,
dang it, Barry, you ruined the timeline again. All right. So where we start off at?
Wherever you want on your first turn.
Interesting.
So there are 10 locations, and you can only buy cards from the location you're at. Your starting deck, which is kind of important to sometimes talk about, has 6 punches.
Okay.
And then instead of having any vulnerabilities, they now have run cards.
Okay.
So the run cards don't help you buy anything, but help you get to the spot you're buying.
Oh, okay.
So every run card gives you 2 move, which is...
Okay.
I'm the Flash because I don't like to deal with that as much, so I start with 2 move.
Ridiculous.
Now, what do you do with Jessica?
So, so Jessica, who is amazing, during each of your turns, if you play 3 or more cards with the same card type, you may move target villain 1 space.
All right. So that's going to start coming up as a thing, too.
Okay. Which is really a cool-looking card. And then the Flash. Dang it, Barry.
Dang it, Barry. Barry. It's really Wally that caused a lot more of the issues in Rebirth, let's be honest.
Yes.
All right. So all of this is what we're trying to deal with. Right. We are playing this game out of the box as a cooperative scenario-driven game.
Okay.
That said, if you still want to just open the box with your friends, not worry about the scenario that you're currently with, maybe with the one friend that couldn't make it today to the game day, you can play this, just deal these out and have fun, or you can play competitively.
Oh, nice.
Without any issues.
Okay.
One of the things that I think people have always been a little bit weird about why are you adding villains to your deck too? Villains don't get added to your deck anymore when they're defeated, but they have a reward as the defeated point.
Okay.
And that's one of the biggest things that we solve with a compatibility page in the rulebook.
Okay.
If you want to use older villains inside this, there's a way to make sure that they move correctly, which we're about to talk about.
Okay.
And have a reward system instead of being added to your deck.
Okay, cool.
So, if you see, Black Manta's already out there messing with everything.
Right, he's the worst.
He's the worst. He's a 7-cost card, so we might not be able to deal with him that quickly.
Right.
Early in the game, you can only really do 5 power in a turn if you get lucky.
Okay.
So, but he is going to try to get us. So we need to probably work together before something worse happens that we have to deal with. See this little pentagon right here?
I do.
See this pentagon right here that matches?
Yes.
That's where he's going.
Oh, I don't like that.
Yeah, at the start of every one of our turns, he will either hurt someone that he is with or move. Okay. So if you decide to get here or move over here by the time of the end of your first turn and we get back to your turn, he will not move because he
is engaged in the combat.
Exactly.
Okay.
And the way that triggers and how that hurts you, because it is going to hurt you, is at the beginning of every one of your turns, if Black Manta, if you are on a spot with a villain, their attack attacks you.
Okay.
If they get to their location, their attack attacks everyone at the beginning of their turn.
Wow.
Even if they're not on that spot.
Sure.
So that's problematic as well.
Right.
The other big change about how the game is set up is, do you see these the 5 locations around here? Right. They will either have an activated ability on their A side. So for the Batcave, the activated ability is destroy a card in your hand if you pay 4 move.
Okay.
That's a great way to keep your deck clean.
Sure.
But the backside is the back cycle stack. And there are 7 different locations and 7 different stacks of 5 cards that are placed out of, if that's the side that you are told to set up in the scenario, or randomly deal if you're playing that way.
Okay, so you have how many scenarios in the...
We have 8 scenario packs.
Nice.
All right, and we have this really cool innovation. for legacy and campaign style games.
Okay.
Have you heard of tape?
I have not.
So the scenario.
Is it the sticky part on the back?
Yeah. So basically,
yes, I have heard of tape.
Yes. So basically, you can put the cards back in after you're done.
Ah, it's amazing.
All right. So then you can easily find which cards are in which scenario pack. We're gonna have a PDF of the scenario tracker that's in this page of the book here.
Oh, okay, cool.
That you're going to be working with as well.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah. So the one thing that I want you to see is, do you see location damage?
I do.
That's kind of terrifying, right?
And it's also important, I'm guessing.
It's very important, especially when you talk about.
It's right here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you will choose who you're playing at the beginning of the scenario, and you can write your name down in the book and keep track of this as a campaign log.
Oh, nice.
If you fail, you mark off if you failed or win and move down the scenario, and you can post your score at the end of how far you got and kind of get your high score for your team.
Right.
Play it again later with new villains, heroes, and everything like that. So damage happens when supervillains start getting out on the board. And supervillains are dealt into the main stack based off of how the scenario pack tells you to.
Okay.
There is also the generic setup inside the rules.
Sure.
In General Zod's case, he will show up. If we were to be playing right now and we drew him, he would go right here.
Okay.
Because all of the locations have, all of the lineup spaces have one in them. So because that's tied, he will go to the one to the right of one.
Okay.
If we had bought Blue Beetle earlier, he would drop here instead. So, and at the beginning of every turn, not only do every one of the villains activate and try to move or attack, one card is always placed on the board. So we're not filling up the lineup anymore. We're placing one card on the board. And if it's on a spot that has something, then it's there. Mm-hmm. And then you can buy from both those because you can't buy unless you're on that location.
Sure.
So Zod is trying to get to 3.
All right.
If he does and starts attacking there, like with the others, he does one more thing. He starts damaging it.
Okay.
And if we get to 5 total damage, it's destroyed. And it's destroyed for the entire campaign.
Oh, wow.
So you mark that off in the book. And if a scenario says, oh, yeah, the Batcave's here, but the Batcave's destroyed, so we've destroyed the Batcave earlier on, you just put the destroyed button on it, and you don't get to use that ability anymore for that round. It's still out there, and it's
just rubble now.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
yikes.
It's a bad time in the DC universe and trying to defend all of these cities and locations, and it's a lot going on.
I like it.
Yeah.
So some of the other things that I saw when you were handing everything out is I got 3 extra cards in addition to my starting deck.
Correct. So
what are these about?
So basically, if you also look at that scenario page, there are signature cards gained.
Okay.
At certain points inside the scenario packs, they'll tell you when you've gained one of your signature cards.
Okay.
You mark that off, and basically you start the game with one of those in the deck instead of a punch.
Nice.
So your starting deck becomes more efficient as the campaign continues because you're always going to start with the same starting deck at the beginning of a game.
Right.
But as it gets better, start with a 10-card starting deck at the start of a game. Once you start getting signature cards with a modified starting 10-card deck. Okay. And the goal of at least the first scenario is basically you need to get rid of, and most of the scenarios, I guess is the best way to put it, is you need to get rid of 5 supervillains before
the tracker runs out.
Yeah, so basically every time a supervillain pops out, the tracker moves up 1.
Okay.
2 supervillains have shown up, 3 supervillains have shown up, 4, and then a 5th. And then once the 5th is out, you have 3 full rounds to defeat them, otherwise you're done.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So it's going to always go in about the same pace. Mm-hmm. The only thing that's going to slow down this game is someone that wants to count their cards and do a little bit of AP, which that's fine. There's some people that love that. But the games are always going to time out about the same because you're told how to stack the deck and shuffle in those supervillains so they show up in the top area-ish, and that normally is about 60 minutes, maybe 80 minutes before this is going to happen. Okay. Almost every time. And then there are things that change in the ongoing stretch on here. So as you start moving up here, when the first one shows up during step 4 of the turn sequences, if there are no supervillains in the lineup, if no supervillains have shown up, you start putting out 2 cards.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So we're going to start finding them quicker and quicker. Mm-hmm. And then there are going to be other scenarios that change what that might be. Okay. And it will tell you what to use for that.
Okay, very cool.
Or the competitive, and because we have a lot of these tokens for upgrading it, you can really, if you guys want to min-max and create a cool scenario for yourself, do it.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
And the other thing I wanted to note is you're not going to be able to see all the artwork that's here, but here's 3 that I found in the binder of awesomeness of some of the artwork that I thought was really nice. So this right here of Wonder Woman, the warrior princess, is really nice. And then teamwork, showing both of the Green Lanterns that are both playable characters in the game. And then also one of my favorites, King of Atlantis.
Oh yeah,
yeah. I'm a big Aquaman fan.
Yeah, and for Aquaman, every single one of these scenarios, every single one of these characters have starter cards that are their signature cards that are really synergistic to him. So, as you're a fan of Aquaman, his superpower is each time you play a superpower during your turn, target player may put a cost with 4 or less from their discard pile to the bottom of their deck. So he can always kind of scry down to the bottom a little bit. But then his first signature card is play the bottom card of your deck.
Nice.
So you can see how that synergizes. Yeah. And because the text is target player, in a cooperative game, I'm helping you, or maybe it's better to help me this turn.
Sure.
And then when you go into competitive, I'm helping me.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So this is a game for 1 to 4 players, ages 15 and up. And when will this be available?
This is going to be coming out at Gen Con.
Okay, also at Gen Con.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Well, Deacon, thank you so much for showing us all this. Thank you so much for watching, everybody out there. We're going to be here at GAMA doing a lot more content, so stay tuned for that. Make sure you check out Cryptozoic.com.
Yep.
And see all the cool news and information you can get on both deck building game Rebirth, DC's Rebirth deck builder, and
Epic Spell Wars of the Battle Wizards, ANNIHILAGEDDON.
Yes.
Whoa.
It's so good.
Right?
So everybody, I'm Rick here with Game Trade Media. I'll see you at the game store.
Thank you very much.